there was this entire demarcation के जो gossip magazines हैं, people did not take it beyond a point very seriously because
really?
there was
they
an element
took it
of
very seriously. They were convinced we were getting married, we were having babies, we were hiding the children.
Right.
They were very convinced about all that.
Fine.
आजकल लोग कॉन्फिडेंटली व्हाट्सएप पे न्यूज़ देखकर बोलते हैं देखो मैंने पढ़ा व्हाट्सएप पर यही खबर है. मतलब इंटेलिजेंट पीपल टॉक लाइक दैट. You know, we all know those people who, you know, we might have them around us.
In Hindi, I will say today very categorically because
Right.
I think I've done that many movies to sit back in a place to say I was very successful in Hindi, I was very successful in Telugu, Tamil, Marathi, I've done all sorts. So today you talk about pan-India stars, I think I was one.
Yes, but
Listen,
she also
I think we
has
should
her own.
continue this interview because I'm loving it. और करो तारीफ, और करो, मजा आ रहा है. You know, the best thing about Hindi films ये है कि आपके जब गाने बहुत अच्छे होते हैं ना, तो आपका रिव्यू कैसे भी हो, क्रिटिक्स को अब अच्छे लगे नहीं लगे, ऑडियंस को अच्छे लगते हैं.
Well, it's wonderful to have Sonali Bendre and Shriya with us. Their show is coming up, The Broken News. I think the word broken in itself says a lot. Pleasure having you guys with us on Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you and good to see you not on Zoom but in person.
Good to see you as well and good to see you as well.
Yes,
I've
absolutely.
been a huge admirer of your journey. You know, seriously, because when you started off and all that, those were the years when prime years of mine as well in a way. And,
Thank you so much.
We've seen everything of yours. I've seen everything of yours, and it's like really amazing. All right, so I think a great start as far as your OTT journey is concerned. Looks like a very interesting project.
Yes, it is.
You seem to be taking chances as well in terms of saying what you feel like, because you've apparently said that you believe in the entire idea of the subject as well.
Yes, I do. It was a subject that brought me, that made me do this. I wanted to do it because of that. There was not too many associations with it at that point of time. So, but I was quite clear that the subject I would like to be a part of, and that's what it is. It's a pleasure to be a part of this subject. You know, the thing was that I was ready to get back to work, and I want to get back to work now. But I didn't want to come. I wanted something different. I wanted something that was not what I had done before, and so I was looking for something that was my age. I was looking for a character that had a voice, and I was looking for a character that, a story that meant something, had some relevance, and also I wanted something that had hope in it. And I really feel that when you tell stories about various things that are happening, I like stories that have a bit of hope to them, because you know there's enough of doomsday saying that happens around us. So I'm the sunshine girl, you see.
Yes, you're this hashtag sunshine.
That's what I called her yesterday. Somebody asked me yesterday, describe her in one word, and I instantly said sunshine, because when you meet her, that's the energy she exuberates.
Wow.
No, absolutely. And so your character says things like we present news in an unbiased, fair and unbiased manner.
Yeah.
You also say that when someone says that this is what people want as news these days, and you say that वो news नहीं तमाशा है. तो you know ये भी एक तरीके का sunshine ही लगता है हम लोगों को, because say whatever I have done my training in journalism, this is what we were told as well in terms of being objective and being fair and all that stuff. But somehow there's too much of opinion in the news right now that
so
we
see,
see.
that is the thing. क्या ये जो मेरा कैरेक्टर जो है अमीना कुरैशी, जो एडिटर इन चीफ है आवाज़ भारती की, वो ये कह रही है जो आपने सुना है. And the question is क्या कि ये आज उसको ये कहने की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ रही है? Is she kind of underlining it for others or for herself also? Because वक्त इतना बदल गया है, और when you come to through a process where you are an editor in chief now, तो एक journey रही है उसकी, और उस journey में what all has she gone through, जहाँ पे आज उसको आके ये क्यों reiterate करना पड़ रहा है, इस पे क्यों एक kind of underline करना पड़ रहा है. So that is what the story is about, and in the end that's what it is, that am I going to stick to this or will I give this up? What am I going to do?
I hope not. I hope not. All right. So आपके कैरेक्टर को कहा जा रहा है, राधा को कहा जा रहा है कि that वो देशद्रोही हैं. So we have seen this these accusations amongst journalists in the last few years. Maybe शायद पहले इस तरीके से नहीं होता था, लेकिन ऑफ लेट जो है जो एक जिस तरीके से पोलराइजेशन का एलिमेंट है वो एक तबका जो है उसको लगता है कि हम सही हैं, दूसरे तबके को लगता है कि हम सही हैं, then they end up indulging in a war of sorts. And this is a terminology that we have heard as well, that कि वो देशद्रोही हैं. So how does one deal with when you're called like a traitor in a way?
It's interesting. It's interesting because you're right. One has heard this term often. जो किसी को भी कभी भी कहा जा रहा है, out of context also several times. So Radha Bhargav is a news producer. कभी कभार वो news reporting, anchoring भी करती है. She's also an investigative journalist. और interesting बात ये है कि उसे अपनी कहानियाँ लोगों के पास पहुँचानी है, but वो ये भी accept करती है और जानती है कि you need power to do that. और शायद हमारे चैनल आवाज़ भारती में उतनी पावर अभी नहीं है. तो for her she feels like क्या जोश 24/7 which is Dipankar's channel, can he help me with this? But when she goes there, she understands that it's much more complicated than it seems. So I think the whole idea of आज there is so much noise, but even there is a lot of noise about false things, but even sometimes the truth needs to be told in a manner that people want to hear it.
Right.
तो हम कब से ये टर्म हमने एक बनाया सच सनी, सच को सनसनी की तरह ही बताना पड़ता है आजकल, so that people hear it, because नहीं तो लोगों को सच बोरिंग लगता है. So Radha's entire battle and dilemma is कि ये जो कहानियाँ हैं which are the truth which I'm passionate about, मैं लोगों तक कैसे पहुँचाऊँ. So I think a lot of people will relate to it, and of course Radha pisses off a lot of other people also in the show because of which उसे देशद्रोही कहा जाता है. But when you have conviction and when you are sure of your honesty and you know what you're saying is credible, then a person like Radha will fight back and give courage to others maybe also who are in that position.
Considering it is the context of the entire news thing that you guys are presenting, say if we just maybe take a couple of contexts, say the entire Aryan Khan case and how the entire media literally made the guy out to be like a criminal or something like that. Now he has been given a clean chit. Or like say the entire Sushant Singh Rajput thing of whatever happened with say Riya Chakrabarti in a way as well. So in many ways it was literally just pouncing on someone like a vulture and just pronouncing someone guilty even without any sort of proper due course or due diligence as you mentioned. Do you find it dangerous in a way? Introspection needs to be done.
Absolutely. I think we can all agree that it's very scary when you see media trials in that sense, and we've seen all over the world there have been certain cases that have caused these media trials. I would say that even if today in this fight for TRPs, fight for attention, even if you can't control how people are telling you things, I think as viewers we can control how we receive that information. बिकॉज आजकल लोग कॉन्फिडेंटली व्हाट्सएप पे न्यूज़ देखकर बोलते हैं देखो मैंने पढ़ा व्हाट्सएप पर यही खबर है. मतलब इंटेलिजेंट पीपल टॉक लाइक दैट, we all know those people who we might have them around us who believe anything that they read. So I think that yes, of course, on one hand you need more responsible journalism where there is some amount of empathy and some, if not some amount of empathy when you're dealing with such sensitive cases. But at the same time, the onus also lies on the fact that if you can't control what you're watching, you need to do your own bit to make sure you don't believe everything you read. Because आज तो सब जर्नलिस्ट है ना, सबके पास फ़ोन है, सबके पास पावर है कुछ भी फैलाने की. So today is a time where you can't just say that you guys better be good. It's also we have to make sure for our own self-protection and for those around us that we are careful about what we believe and we verify and we fact check also.
Well said, yeah.
So Sonali, do you feel that I'm sure that everyone within the film industry they've experienced the way there is this trial of Bollywood that tends to take place all the time. I think in one way or the other. And this name calling do you think that too much of opinion, as I mentioned in the beginning, maybe there is too much of opinion in the news media today, and that's not a good idea? As you mentioned, as your character mentions, like fair and unbiased news. So where is the unbiased element?
I wouldn't say today. I think it was always there. It's just that अभी जैसे मैंने कहा कि information channels और जैसे श्रेया ने कहा कि हर बंदा जर्नलिस्ट बन चुका है. उसके पास एक फ़ोन में कैमरा है और वो रिकॉर्ड करके अपना ओपिनियन सोशल मीडिया पे डाल सकते हैं. सो एवरीबडी हैज़ टर्न्ड इनटू दैट. बट बिकॉज यू मेंशन्ड फिल्म इंडस्ट्री एंड बिकॉज आई हैव बीन अ पार्ट ऑफ इट एंड यू सेड दैट, so it's not just today, it's always been like that. I think when you're in the public eye, people are very quick to jump to conclusions, and वो पढ़ना भी पसंद करते हैं you know celebrities के बारे में बुरा. और voyeurism है क्योंकि लोग पढ़ना चाहते हैं उसके बारे में, देखना चाहते हैं उसके बारे में, और उसीलिए उनको वो परोसा भी जाता है. I feel. और ये आज की बात नहीं है, ये हमेशा से ही था. सिर्फ उस टाइम पे आपके पास ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस कम थे तो वो 2-3 जगह या 4 जगह आता था, अब 400 जगह आ रहा है. दैट्स द डिफरेंस आई थिंक.
बट यू नो, वुडंट यू एग्री दैट देयर वाज दिस एंटायर डिमार्केशन के जो गॉसिप मैगजीन्स हैं, people did not take it beyond a point very seriously, because
really?
there was an
always
element
took it very seriously. They
was
were convinced we were getting married, we were having babies, we were hiding the children.
Right.
They were very convinced about all that.
Fine, so that was the gossip element. But जो एक mainstream media था, that used to stay away from all these things. You know, generally, जो prominent magazines थी, news channels थे, they used to stay away from all these things, and there was maybe a bit more fact checking, much more than what it is. Now the entire, there is no line between what can be taken as many times serious sort of journalism and what can be frivolous.
I agree. Serious and frivolous में line कम हो गई है. और having said that, मुझे लगता है कि that's what I feel about the humanity and humanness of news is. क्योंकि if you see, human beings तभी भी न्यूज़ चलाते थे, अभी भी चलाते हैं. आई थिंक सोसाइटी और द वे इंफॉर्मेशन आ रहा है, जिस तरह से आपके पास न्यूज़ पहुंच रही है, वो बदल चुका है. आपको पहले मैगजीन्स महीने में एक बार आती थी, कुछ वीकली आती थी और कुछ न्यूज़पेपर्स डेली आते थे. तो आपको उस हिसाब से न्यूज़ मिलती थी. अभी देयर इज़ नथिंग लाइक दैट. आपको हर मिनट में न्यूज़ मिल रही है. सो मुझे बार बार मैं वही कह रही हूँ, एंड आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट एनीथिंग. मैं बार बार कह रही हूँ कि मुझे लगता है कि ये फैक्ट चेंज होने की वजह से द नॉइज इज सो मच मोर. यही चीज़ें तभी भी होती थी, लेकिन एक आई वुड से कि उसमें एक थोड़ा आँख की शर्म हुआ करती थी, या उसको कहेंगे कि एक सॉर्ट ऑफ बाउंड्री हुआ करती थी. लेकिन तभी भी था कि कोई यू नो आपका मीडिया किस तरफ झुकता है, वो हमेशा से ही था. एंड नॉट जस्ट इन इंडिया, ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. यू ऑलवेज हैड द लीनिंग्स ऑफ वेयर विच मीडिया कम्स फ्रॉम वेयर, एंड फेयर इनफ, दैट्स व्हाट इट इज़. और मेरा कहना यही है कि हम ह्यूमन बींग्स हैं, ओपिनियंस होंगे, लीनिंग्स होंगे, फेयर इनफ. इसीलिए हमें एज व्यूअर, rather than believing blindly, we need to see what is the thing. And after you do that and you say, yeah, but I agree with this person, then please go ahead and agree with it. But do the due diligence. That's what we are saying.
I noticed that today news is perceived more than information for entertainment. If you see the way news is packaged, you know, it's just a fight to be heard and fight for attention, because pehle there weren't so many outlets for news, right? There weren't so many news channels, there weren't so many media agencies. Today there is one, as we speak there are new ones being formed, so the same news is coming from so many different sources. So to be heard, to grab attention, it's all about, you know, just saying things in that way. आप Instagram के उस बॉक्स में, उस ग्रिड में, दुनिया एक वर्ल्ड वॉर की न्यूज़ भी उसी ग्रिड में आती है और एक पैपराजी की फोटो भी उसी ग्रिड में आती है. इमेजिन द ग्रेविटी ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इज इन द सेम ग्रिड. सो वी आर जस्ट बीइंग desensitized to all of it.
True.
It's so heartening when your character says about the fair and the unbiased element. But say for example, when this entire Sushant's thing was going on, and all those actresses and actors, their photos, they're being cropped, and the way their pictures were being used while they're talking about it, it's like you're actually creating a certain perception in the public's mind that you know this is the way they are.
Which is intentional.
ये पार्टी करते हैं, ये
Yes.
करते हैं, ये करते हैं, उन्होंने फिर ये भी किया होगा, which is I think unfair. Like I think this is like
Of
it's
course it is.
defamatory.
Of course it is unfair.
It is
It is
absolutely
defamatory
unfair, and it
actually,
is
and which
scary.
is, yeah.
It is very, very scary. And I really hope that I feel like a lot of people know that ये गलत है, पर लोगों को people like to believe the worst, और वो उनको वो gossip entertainment की तरह उन चीज़ों को देखते हैं, but sometimes they don't realize that these are people, these are human beings that you're talking about, you know. And it's very scary, but I truly hope that through our show, because we've touched upon these things, because we've gone behind the scenes of what all it takes. मतलब फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने ये एग्जाम्पल दिया, तो शो में हमारे ऐसे अलग अलग न्यूज स्टोरीज हैं जिसके बारे में हम बातें कर रहे हैं
हर एपिसोड में we have a new story.
तो हम दिखा रहे हैं कि वो इस एक न्यूज को बाहर लाने के लिए 2 डिफरेंट न्यूज चैनल्स की थॉट प्रोसेस क्या क्या होती है. आई थिंक दैट विल बी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर पीपल टू वॉच
कि कैसे सेम न्यूज को किस तरह से पेश किया जाता है.
Right.
So that will be very, very interesting. And you know what you're saying is true, and we keep coming entertainment and all of that, and हम दोनों entertainment field से हैं, so I absolutely agree when you ask us these questions कि what is it. But I think that's happening कहीं पे मुझे लगता है कि as actors or our industry has always been a soft target, and it's always easier to target us. पर ऐसे नहीं है कि दूसरों को target नहीं किया जाता. So and that I think we should not get caught up in entertainment के साथ ऐसे है उसके. I think what the show is trying to say is कि देखिए न्यूज़ के पीछे क्या क्या हो रहा है, क्या है ह्यूमन ड्रामा उसके पीछे. और मुझे लगता है कि जैसे ही वो समझ में आने लगेगा, एक एम्पैथी बिल्ड होगी, आप एज अ व्यूअर सवाल पूछना शुरू करेंगे. और आई थिंक इन अ डेमोक्रेसी दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, जहाँ पे आप सवाल पूछ सके. और जिस तरह से आप एज अ जर्नलिस्ट अलग हिसाब से सवाल पूछेंगे, बट मैं जर्नलिस्ट नहीं हूँ, आई एम एन एक्टर, एंड यू नो आई विल, मैं एक कि ये आपको सोचना चाहिए, ये मैं मेरे काम के थ्रू बता सकती हूँ. सो सब अपने हिसाब से वही कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि द सोसाइटी इज गोइंग थ्रू अ चेंज एंड वी नीड टू इवॉल्व विद इट. That's what I think.
Okay, आपने जैसे जिक्र किया कि that जैसे when you were actively doing a lot of films and everything, so उसमें constantly वो सब न्यूज़ स्टोरीज आती रहती थी, गॉसिप स्टोरीज जो गॉसिप मैगजीन्स होती थी, लेकिन आपके बारे में तो कभी इस तरीके से कुछ नहीं आया. Either you are a very fine actress or there was something, because I don't remember that they were.
So there are two things. Either आपके बारे में बहुत कुछ लिखा जाए या फिर कुछ नहीं लिखा जाए. So अगर आप मसाला नहीं दे रहे हो तो आपके बारे में लिखा नहीं जाएगा. So one thing was that's a choice you make कि यार मुझे गंदा लिखा हुआ नहीं चाहिए, तो fine, yeah, I'm not friends with you, don't write about me. So then you don't get written about, and that's why आपकी रिव्यू कभी भी अच्छा नहीं होगा. You will always be. आप आज मुझे बोल रहे हैं कि अच्छे एक्टर से, थैंक यू सो मच. मुझे लाइफ में कभी नहीं कहा गया कि आई एम अ गुड एक्टर.
नहीं, but
Really?
you are not
In
merely,
my life, I have never been
you are
called
not
that.
merely like a good actor.
I've always been criticized for the roles I play, but that's what I'm saying. That's how it is.
No, but you were not merely successful in Hindi. You were very successful in the South languages that you worked in as well.
I was very successful in Hindi, I will say today,
Yeah.
very categorically, because
Right.
I think I've done that many movies to sit back in a place to say I was very successful in Hindi, I was very successful in Telugu, Tamil, Marathi. I've done all sorts. So today you talk about pan India stars, I think I was one.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
So I think that is something.
That is
which
what it is, and I don't mean to sound this thing about it, but I'm just saying it from the point of view that when you sit back today on the body of work that I have done, ये तो हम कर रहे थे यार. आज हर चीज़ को आप इतनी सारी चीज़ें आप जो बोल रहे हैं हमेशा से ही हुआ है. अभी आवाज़ ज़्यादा है. Like I said, 4 और 400 का फ़र्क है.
Okay, and मैम मुझे आइडली आई थिंक आधा पौना घंटा तो मुझे सिर्फ आपसे बात करने के लिए चाहिए होगा, लेकिन मे बी some other time.
Definitely.
But you know one thing that I just want
I
to
hope
ask
soon.
definitely, and you've had some amazing songs as well.
Yes,
to your
I've been
credit.
lucky. I had great songs.
Right. So if you can tell us something, like say Sarfaroz, just one example, the way
You
that
know,
song became.
you know the best thing about Hindi films ये है कि आपके जब गाने बहुत अच्छे होते हैं ना, तो आपका रिव्यू कैसे भी हो, critics को आप अच्छे लगे नहीं लगे, audience को अच्छे लगते हैं.
Exactly.
So you know, I was always
had
loved by
some
my
good
audience.
songs.
I can never thank them enough. I have always been loved through my journey. इतना प्यार मिला है मुझे लोगों से that it definitely felt like अगर मुझे उतना और किसी से नहीं मिला हो तो I don't really it doesn't matter, क्योंकि long run में audience has loved me, and for me my audience is what matters.
Right, like say Hungama for example. I think
Yeah.
that'll always.
It just fell into my lap. I didn't even want to do it. I was like,
Really?
no, you better come and do it. I said, okay, fine, I'll do it.
That
It was
song
literally
was
like that.
like बचपन में at all birthday parties उसी गाने पे हम dance करते थे.
And Shriya, how do you look at her as a style icon that she's always been?
You have to know this.
Right.
I am obsessed with her styling, her fashion sense, and it comes naturally to her. Which I didn't know that. I mean, I've of course been a fan of hers, but I got to know her personally when we started working together. And what strikes me the most is just her natural grace, confidence, a sense of style.
too sweet.
And I keep telling her
I
this.
think, ma'am, if I start, तो मुझे काफी घंटों लग जाएंगे.
नहीं, and it's
So,
true. And I keep
yeah.
telling her, I say that at some point you need to, have your own label or something of your own clothes, because she has great sense of clothes. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I think not very great sense of clothes. The way she carried herself,
Absolutely.
the hair and the makeup and the works. I think it was phenomenal.
Yes, and credit also goes to the team, I think,
Right.
over the years. But she
Listen,
also
I think we
has
should
her own-
continue this interview because I'm loving it. और करो तारीफ, और करो, मजा आ रहा है.
I tell her everybody crushes on her all the time, and she doesn't believe it. But yeah.
No, definitely. I think you've worked with some of the biggest stars as well, and they all of them, they have great things to say about you. Be it Aamir, Shah Rukh,
Naturally.
Salman, Ajay Devgan. I think it's been phenomenal. The sort of journey that you've had.
I have been lucky, like I said.
No, I think,
So that's
but,
what I
but,
say, that the good points from my career have been far outweigh the negatives. I remember the good points.
right. And I believe your father is a civil servant.
Yes, he's
So-
a government servant. Yeah.
Right. So I think that level of awareness and all those things come from there.
I think it's reading. The best knowledge is
Right.
books, and when
Your book club as well.
I think the best knowledge is books and traveling. And if you cannot travel, you don't have the money to travel, then you read more. And that's what I did. And so yeah, I think that's what is great knowledge, and I cannot emphasize that enough.
I think knowledge also helps in terms of courage, in terms of battling the toughest battles of life.
But that's what I feel that, even like I'm going back to the show with this, but it's when you understand what happens behind, the knowledge of what is going on is what helps you make choices. And when I look back at my life, I think that's what has stood me in good stead. It's helped me always, for the choices that have been made. उस टाइम पे टफ लगे, उस टाइम पे लगा कि यार इजी वे ये है, करना चाहिए, but somehow that's what knowledge helps you with. I think it gives you the longevity.
And maybe Terao as well.
Definitely.
Right, ma'am. We definitely should do an interview with you as and when you have time. Would love to do that. And congratulations for the show. Really looks wonderful.
Thank
Personally, I'm
you.
looking forward to watching this.
Thank you
and I
so
hope that
much.
it's a huge success. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Farid.
so
Thank
much. I
you.
hope you enjoy it. We would love your feedback.
Gee, definitely. That's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.